So I'm just going to thank you to Birgit for introducing everybody. And I'm very aware that, Sumita, you've been pulled in sort of at the last minute, to the point where you have an alter ego in the form of Keithan on stage. But for people, obviously, Sumita, would you like to perhaps, if we are able to kick off with you, let's talk about leadership. So you are all maritime leaders. What are the factors that have allowed you to achieve the positions that you've achieved now? What do you think was the secret sauce, the formula to allow you to get to the ranks that you've gotten to now? What do you credit your position to? And if we start with you and we go around, we'll then mix it up. Oops, we need some mics. One of the working secrets would be, yep.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sumita Banerji and not Keithan. So we've got that sorted out. Secret sauce, that's the question you basically asked us.
To your leadership, to be able to get to the position you are.
That's right. Confidence is the very simple, simple and the basic thing one needs to have to do anything well in life, right? And to be a leader, you need to be confident. Self-belief, how do you become confident? Self-belief, knowledge, academics helps. Experience helps, your support group around you, your family, your colleagues at work, all that helps. But I think basically to be a leader, you got to want to be a leader. It's all about what do you want in life. Someone is happy, being whatever they are in their organization, they're going to stay that way. You got to manifest it and work for it. So leadership is no different. I don't think we're speaking right now about women leaders. You don't want my perspective on that?
My perspective is, what have you done? What do you feel was the source? And then how are you paying this forward? What are you incorporating into your organizations?
Right. So my alma mater is the Shipping Corporation of India. Very forward-looking, very women-centric organization. And currently I'm with Allcargo. And in between, I ran my own feeder ships. So I think it's good to have an enabling organization that really works well for women in shipping particularly, because there's so few of us in India. But more than that, what works for anyone is your own self-belief, confidence, education background, ability to work hard, and not gossip at the workplace.
It depends on the gossip. Some gossip is great, but no, right. Let's, of course, let's come to you,
most of it she's
Shiv.
answered for me.
You think she answered for you?
But my only thing is with the leadership thing.
I can't hear you.
Can't.
Yep, it's better. It kicked in. It kicked in. It's working.
Okay. So for me, to add on, leadership is not only being the dominant person, but having the whole team with you, for you, and believing in you and believing in themselves, which is how I believe that the team goes forward and it grows, and that's how it's grown for me.
So can I ask, because obviously it's really great to have all of these theories and we all share them. What does practical implementation look like if you're talking about that? If you're saying we want to listen to our teams, how do you listen in your organization?
How do I always listen. That's my job, part of the job as a lawyer. But I believe that a lot of things as a lawyer, when you discuss with someone, it comes out a more prominent, more different view that you may have than to me. And I appreciate that. It's not that I have to prove a point to you that I am your boss. For me, it's the other way around. I rather learn from them, and sometimes they learn from me. And that's how we grow.
Danae?
I'm here?
Yes, it kicks in. They're adjusting it. No, I don't think it can. Is it on?
Yes, it is.
It is
on?
Yeah, we'll just pass it.
Yes, okay, great. But I still can speak without the microphone. First of all, we would like, please, an applaud for Sanjam, because the reason that we are here is for her. She inspiring us. I am a friend of hers since, not her first steps, but our first steps in the shipping world. And what you are doing here, we will always be next to you to support you, because we know how hard it was to be here. And when I heard you in the morning, I said, go, Sanjam, go. Now there is a full room that supports you.
We're all watching you. You're
it's very, very important, the empowerment that she's giving. So the first thing is that I tried to be next to positive people. go away from toxic people. Sanjam was always there, and her sister, and everybody to hug us, to have fun, to laugh, but also to speak seriously about empowering women, about empowering young people. And this is very important. Another thing, we adapt. We have learned to adapt. We must adapt in critical cases, and we have seen it also with COVID. Too many roles for a woman. Too many roles. But if you love what you're doing, you are not a woman or a man. You are a human being. So very important to be okay with yourself, to wake up and say, in Greece we say tusu, but in India it's, you are beautiful, you are great, you will have a great day.
To be confident
to
and
believe
positive,
to yourself,
kind of, yes.
to love what you're doing, and of course to network.
Yes.
And to mentor, to have mentors around you. And with Brigitte, we have had also big fights about mentoring, not only in shipping, in daily life. And to be with all of you, and to have this great time here in beautiful India.
So Somasundar, I could see you nodding, so you have to build on what she said and not repeat, so good luck.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, it's an honor and privilege to be here at this fantastic forum and with such great panelists. One of the advantages when you're the last one for that question is I can just give all the credit to the people who have spoken earlier saying, okay, exactly the same points.
You can go first next.
I didn't want that, but okay, I'll take that anyway. But yeah, the fact is, coming from a ship management background, where the only thing what a ship manager has is the people, whether it is on board or the team ashore, right? So it is all about understanding the limitations and what this workforce can do for you, and to make sure that they are aligned in their expectations and the rightful push and impetus is given for them to succeed in what they can deliver. At Fleet, we always believe that people always want to do a good job. Nobody wakes up in the morning to say that, okay, today I'm going to make a mess of things, right? Everyone wants to do a good job. It is how are the circumstances for the person, whether it is on board or in the offices, are designed to make sure that the person succeeds. So that's something which we keenly look at in the present organization, to make sure that the expectations are aligned to what the success of the organization is. You mentioned about hard work. Nothing can succeed if there's no hard work. Things don't happen just because it had to, right? So there is a lot of hard work which goes in discipline, and to make sure that you lead from the front. People look at you as a leader because they want to emulate you. So you have to be doing the right things, talking the right things, right? So that was one of the very key factors. And one of the very special comment from one of my mentors who's actually sitting here, Captain Pradeep Chawla. Right? I worked under him in a different organization. That as a leader, very difficult, very tough taskmaster, for sure, right? Worked doubly hard as all of us anytime, even today. But one thing what he always did was, whenever any staff employee came to his door, he always gave time. He knew that the person are not coming to him just for a chit-chat, because there is some need to discuss. And however busy he was, he would make sure that he would give time to each of those people who are coming to meet him. So that's something which I have emulated, saying, yes, as leaders, there could be pressing needs, but if you handle people correctly, you have a win-win success for the organization and for the people.
I think that's great. And you've actually led quite nicely into the next question, because I think that for a lot of people, the argument against change is that it's very complex, right? Shipping is seen as being very complex. Maritime is very complex. We are both led in terms of a technical industry, but very people-focused. We're international. There are regulations. There's a lot of compliance. So this complexity can feel daunting. But as leaders, you have the power to kind of cut through this with policy at your organizations. So could you talk to me about a policy that you've implemented at your organization in whatever way or shape that has led to real change and led to real inclusivity? So I think the point that you made with Pradeep, who's in the audience, was that he made time, right? No matter what it was, even if he was being a hard taskmaster, he always made time, so that allowed you to voice your thoughts and feel included. What do you do at your organization? I'm going to say that one goes to Pradeep, so you have to come up with something different now, and then we're coming back.
Yeah, the two important aspects what I've strongly believed, and in fact, we have a new leadership at Fleet Management as well, right? It was a 30-year founder-led organization, and after 30 years, we have a new CEO at helm. So it's a different setup. The expectations are to continue the legacy of what the predecessors have left and to make sure that the company grows in a bigger, better, and the right direction. So one of the key things what we strongly believe is trust and accountability, right? You trust people because we believe that they will do the right thing. And invariably, when for human beings, when you place trust on them, it's very seldom that people want to let you down. They will do their best to make sure that the objectives are met.
Can I challenge that just a little bit? Because I think it's wonderful to have things like trust and accountability as concepts. How does that translate into policy? What does trust look like in a policy?
Policy is the framework, right, of what is required to run the organizations. Like in our case, processes, procedures, safety management system, what are the do's and don'ts, but that is all in the book, okay? It's in the manuals, right? The actual translation of it can only happen if people are empowered and they believe that they can do, even if the instructions are contrary to what is in the safety management system or the processes and procedures.
So is your policy then, should somebody stray from what you asked them to do, provided they were able to justify it, there are no penalties? Is that what the policy looks like?
Can you repeat that, please?
So basically, if what you said is, even if the instruction is different to the action taken, provided that they can justify it and there's a logic to it, there is no penalty for them. Is that what that policy looks like?
Entirely. So as long as it is for the right reason, for the right things, it will be accepted by us and by the senior management as well. And then it is for the right reasons for the organization, right? And to move away from individual biases. It's as long as it is
People
for...
can't, it's not the Wild West. It
Exactly.
would be unsafe.
Yeah.
Right, Danae, I can see you nodding quite a lot, so...
It's very important to go to action.
Yes.
I know it's very difficult, for big companies. For small and medium companies and family companies like us, it's easier. So one of the policies that we're doing and we're implementing is that hiring people from the university. My assistant is with me 12 years, and she's there since the second year from her studies. We will also cooperate officially with Maritime SheEO and Yes Forum that I have created in Greece, but this is something that we try, and we have done it in the company. And the young people to be part of the dialogue. We have lost at least 30 to 40 years that we were watching only men over 60 years old to be in the panels. Yeah. In Navigator forum, in our forum, we're having men and women, we're having panels, and the main thing is not to have a woman just to have. I disagree. I'm hearing our General Secretary of IMO that I will not speak again to panels that they don't have women. No, to have capable human beings, even if it's women or men. But the main thing is to include the young people. Yes. Not to tell them, you don't know, stay aside. It's the first time, I think, I worked 25 years in shipping, that we can learn also from the next generation because of the digitalization and the AI. So we must be in contact dialogue with them, and they must be part of the dialogue and the conferences. And I'm happy here to see the MOL, and I hope more companies will be there to give the microphone to the young people to say what they believe.
Perfect. You're already getting applause. I've got a quick question for the room to make sure everyone's paying attention. How many people in this room feel listened to by their employers? So by your bosses, by your superiors. If you feel listened to in the workplace, pop your hand up. Quite a lot in the front. A patch of people in the back who are either not listened to or asleep, but we're coming for you to make sure that you also get listened to. So get your questions ready. Right, Shiv, let's talk about you. What are the policies that you've put into place to really kind of facilitate inclusion?
We are a maritime firm and not a big organization.
Small is good too.
The first belief that I have is there's no politics between us.
sorry, could you talk into
There is no politics between us. It's very simple. Everybody can walk to each other, discuss stuff. Much easier. People can come reach out to me. I can reach out to them. So that makes it easier. Responsibility-wise, I have seen by doing this is that they take their own responsibility. Finally, what I feel is that they also want growth. They also want to see how they grow in the firm, so the firm grows. The firm is not mine alone to manage.
It's a team.
Everyone's.
Absolutely, no, and I like that. And it kind of ties in quite nicely to what we were talking about earlier, which is having not a blame culture, making sure that you include younger people, thinking about it collaboratively as a team. So coming to you, Sumita.
Okay, so Allcargo, the organization I come from, has beautiful 5 guiding principles. And one of them, which really assists all of us as leaders, is think like an entrepreneur. So our chairman is a first-generation entrepreneur, and he has now created a culture in the organization where every employee, even the person who's serving tea, to someone who is working in one of our facilities or working in the NVOCC office, a driver in Gati, managers, senior management, we all think as entrepreneur. And what does it mean when you think like an entrepreneur? You think and you own, you take ownership for the work you do. When you take ownership, your immediate mindset is to be cost effective, to be efficient, to deliver the best. And then when you go and do a good job, you can ask your superior for a very good bonus. So it's just not output of giving back to your company, but taking back for your family as well. What you deserve, what you put in is what you take.
You're talking about value, aren't you? Bringing value to the product.
You bring value to the product, you bring value to yourself. So it's a little bit different from just having the no blame culture, which is excellent. But here, I think what our organization, the policy that we're trying to implement, each of us cascaded down in our teams, and we try to embody it ourselves, is a policy that I think I'm the owner. This is my business. It is my organization. I am the owner. It's 100% belonging to me. When you have that mindset, everything works. You don't really need too many policies because ownership comes in. So that's the only policy that I think I have worked hard at implementing in the organization. Thank you.
That's interesting. And because you all have such almost symbiotic but slightly different approaches, I think a really interesting question for our leaders on stage is going to be, what are the challenges that they're currently navigating, either positive or negative? Because digitalization is a good one where it is absolutely an opportunity, but also if you don't quite know what you're doing, there's a big challenge. So let's talk. And Shiv, I'm going to come to you first so that we don't always go in a line. I think we've got a mic. What are either the challenges or the opportunities that your organization, and I know you're lawyers, what are you currently navigating? Are you looking at AI coming up with all these contract clauses? Is that an opportunity because you know they're going to get them wrong?
AI is positive change, has to happen, and we are all waiting for it. But using it as a research skill is a bad thing, is what I think. What I have seen that recently the kids who are coming in and starting the profession are relying on it too much.
Yes.
So rather just use it as a reference point if you can't, and from there you take it forward, but don't rely on that. That's what we are facing in the next. But the older generations who we have been we obviously don't go directly to that. We go in our old ways, the books and the judgments, and that's how we go about. I think that's how we should learn. Use it in a way that will help.
It's a tool. You've got to use it in the right way.
You have to use it. You have to use it.
Audience, how many of you use AI to do your jobs in a work context?
We all use it.
Not as many people as I thought. Really interesting. You were sure there was going to be everyone, so let's talk to you. What challenges and opportunities are you navigating?
Well, as a ship management, one of the key challenges for us, as in my earlier, we were discussing, as I mentioned, for us, we work in a human capital business. So retention, right? We need people to continue with us, right? As like with any other ship manager, the seafarers are paid only at the time when they are on board. Otherwise, when they're on leave, there's no payment to them per se. But that's how the dynamics of the business is. So one of the most key challenges is to make sure that they are retained a long time with the company. Again, The wages are market-driven, so there's only so much that money can be thrown at them. So what most of the companies, including us, we do is what are the add-on values the company can do with respect to welfare, with their family engagements, and other in sessions like this, where they are being made to feel part of the team. And that kind of helps to make sure that the retention is high, which is a win-win situation for us, for the owners whom we serve, and for the seafarers themselves. So retention for me would be very high and one of the challenges. Technology, shipping is advancing at a very phenomenal pace. A lot of new developments, whether it is the emission control, whether it is the new alternate fuels, and a lot of it is still under discussion. We don't know what is going to be the right technology which is going to come, to make sure that we stay ahead of the game and to ensure that the workforce, the human capital are trained to handle all those technological advancements. This is another huge, huge challenge, which at least what we see from a ship manager's hat.
Right. Sumita, I'm going to come to you next, and then I will come to you, Danae. Sumita.
So I come from the logistics space. Everything that's an opportunity is also a challenge in my space right now. If Trump sneezes in America and puts sanctions, tariff sanctions or sanctions, it's a problem for exports from India. We are in the business of LCL, FCL, freight forwarding. But again, there are so many opportunities. If you look at India, the rapid changes the government is fueling, these are all opportunities. But it's not culminating at the pace that we would like it to be, so it's currently a challenge. But I think over the next few years, it'll be a great opportunity for logistics companies in India to do better and become, more visible in the world. Right now, I think Allcargo is the only Indian company visible in the international world. I hope to see more Indian companies in that sphere. Thank you.
So you're sort of looking at geopolitical uncertainty as an opportunity to establish yourself and to kind of talk about the opportunities that you can bring to the table. Yes. Because there is, as we all know, without having to name any countries, there's a lot of change going on, and there are going to be vacuums of power, and that vacuum is an opportunity. Exactly. But if you were a country in that space, it is definitely, definitely a challenge, as I'm sure some of the people in this room know.
It's just 1 second. It's very difficult in logistics to foresee the future. In the sense,
I
during
would say
COVID,
if you can foresee the future, you don't belong in the stage, you belong in like a tower with lots of money.
Right. So like COVID, when COVID started, it was such a challenge, right? Everyone who's been in logistics, particularly shipping, we all thought the world's coming to an end. And in the end of the 2 years, giant companies became massive, even much bigger than they were. So really so difficult to think whether the opportunity will convert into a challenge or the challenge will convert into an opportunity. So yeah, you'll have to wait and watch.
And I think it's actually a really good way to pull you in, Danae, because you were talking earlier about scale, right? You were like, for larger companies, the challenges and opportunities will be really different, particularly if you're the incumbent, right? Then there will be challenges to the throne. But if you're new, if you're younger, if you're agile, you could jump into those power vacuums and take up space. So talk to us about the challenges that you're seeing and the opportunities.
Yes, okay, I will say the retention, the upskilling and the reskilling. It's upskilling, reskilling, and also the training, not only of our colleagues, but also of the management.
Yes.
Because we were not used to be trained and retrained. Yeah. The mentality was, you are becoming the CEO, you are forever CEO, there is no reason to retrain. So lifelong learning, a big challenge for the companies. The small and medium companies, what we will do, and on behalf of the Greek shipping community, that we're presently 5,691 vessels, and we're waiting another 600 vessels joining our fleet, and managing 21% of the worldwide trading. A country of 10 million controls 21% of the worldwide trade. It's huge for us. So we have to keep shipping into the agenda. This is a big challenge for us. Shipping is running the world, and out of 206 countries that are now in the world, only 15 are managing 85% of the worldwide trading. So I think that we have the challenge of retaining our companies, our people, our team, but also to create the next shipping generation and to convince 90% of the world that the 10% that is running it is doing it because we need shipping. because the trading needs to go on through shipping.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because as a sector, we are rather invisible. When we're doing our job right, no one should know we're there. We're sort of in the wings. We're just getting your shelves stocked and your tables brought in and your laptops delivered and whatnot. And then you have the Ever Given in the Suez Canal, and suddenly, you're all over the place. And then you have COVID and you have different changes. So I think it's really interesting talking about visibility and talking about relevance. And I think it's particularly a challenge when we're looking at governments, etc., that are looking at policies for us. And, I believe you mentioned alternative fuels and the new fuels that are coming in. We're going to be vying for these new fuels. That is a real challenge.
We will see.
Absolutely. My point is making sure that you have...
At least the ship owners are ready for the new fuels. The regulations are not.
And I can see the chairman of the ICS, the Secretary General of the ICS even, I promoted you sideways, nodding. Right, so coming back to the panel, let's talk about gender inclusivity, because we are at the Maritime SheEO conference. And let's talk about the benefits that gender inclusivity are bringing, particularly if you've got gender inclusive leadership. So the question, actually, let me ask the room first and then come to our panel. How many of you in your senior leadership at your organizations have a woman in the team? Ooh, really not that many people in the room that feel this way, so worth noting. How many people on stage have, definitely you. But does
We're 4 daughters, there is no other option.
Perfect. She said she's one of 4 daughters, so there is no other option besides having women leadership. But right, let's talk about the benefits of having a diverse leadership, which includes women, of course. So there have been lots of studies that have talked about the benefits. Are there any benefits that you have noticed from having it? And for organizations, I'm going to be kind and say, if you don't have women in leadership, get some. But if you're having diverse leadership in terms of neurodiversity, of people of different economic classes, people from different religions, races, having people from other countries to bring new perspectives, have you seen any of the benefits at your organization?
It's very interesting questions. Interestingly, my whole life I've only been in the ship management or the shipping industry, right? And I don't think it's a big secret how big a male-dominated industry this is, right?
What?
So to get the diversity factor into whether it is easier in the offices, for sure, and as an example, and when you ask me whether anybody on this side, whether we have anybody in the leadership role in the office, one of my colleagues raised his hand there. In fact, we have the head of our legal, head of our new building department, at any given time, 100+ ships under new build. It's a lady from China doing a fantastic job. We have our sustainability manager, also a lady who delivers fantastically well to what the company wants. So we have quite a few on the shore side. And on a lighter note, what it does within the boardrooms and within the meetings is keeps the men folks more focused, right? Normally the kind of tone and the language is what is used by most of us seafarers may not be totally appropriate, right? But these people help to keep us in check and balance. Yes, very professional, right? However, the dynamics to have gender diversity on board is a bit different. Still at a very nascent stage, right? We have some companies who are much advanced stage of the gender diversity on board. For us, we've started this about 4-5 years back, and I am very happy to share that as fleet management, we have 2 lady captains within our fleet right now. Both happen to be Indian ladies. We also have 2 second engineers, soon to be chief engineers, on board to take, in charge of the machinery. So we are progressively looking at improving the numbers, but the challenges are still the same, the mindset. And as ship managers, we need the authority and permission of our principals, the ship owners, to place them on board. Sometimes that does come as a challenge. Personal experiences with these 2 lady captains, the ship has run clockwork, absolutely no challenges. People on board very happy. And if I can share one anecdote about one of the lady seafarers who joined a European owner, one of the Greek clients of ours. As
it better be a good anecdote, because she's watching now.
As an assessment, they require every master to go to Greece for a navigation assessment, a 1-week-long program. And then apart from this lady, there were other people, not necessarily from my company, the other companies. And this lady was hands down the winner and scored the topmost amongst that full assessment program, right? So there are things which it comes to, professionalism and pride, what the ladies can do, which we men folks still need to learn from.
And I just wanted to draw the audience's attention. I was actually moderating a different session in one of the other rooms, and it's going to be available online later, where another organization, and I won't name them because that feels rude as if I'm comparing, but they talked about the various projects and efforts that they've done to make seafaring more women inclusive. And one of the things they did was they put women on board in teams of 3. So you always had other women to talk to. And they talked about advocates and having these kinds of programs. So I love that you're looking at it, and you're looking at it at a policy level, because I think that is what will bring great change. So let's come to you, Danae, because I can see you agreeing and also...
okay, of course, it's... I want to say that the very important thing is that women must support women.
100%. Right?
Because
women, we must support women and allies. You got to support us too.
A few truths that, of course, we may, all of us, you can imagine what's happening in the rooms or in the panels that me, Sanjam, and Brigitte are in the same panel. Boom. I mean, a bomb. But we are surviving many years together and as friends, so we must support each other. We must vote for women. We must empower women in the boards. And I'm very happy that I am first vice president at Propeller Club at the Port of Piraeus. When I entered, it was 1 woman. Now we're 5 out of 16 governors. And before leaving, my dream is, yes, of course, I would like to have a leadership role. But the main thing is to be, the maximum we can, I say again, capable human beings. Okay, not to be there just to be. So I think that these policies, and also in our company, I want to tell you, because we're 4 daughters, the 3 of us are in the businesses, I want to tell you that 90% of the business is women, maybe because the men cannot be with many multitaskers. Because, yes, the women are a lot multitasking in the business.
Shots have been fired.
And I think, but what I'm just saying is that, and I don't want to be heard in a feminist way, 98% of the decisions come from men in shipping, and it's important to see more and more women in order to have as much equality as we can, equal voices.
Of course.
Not laws and all this. The laws are not making are not bringing the good or bad results. I think maybe more to fight in a good way.
I think it's really interesting because, when we talk about, and your point of having not just tokenism, not just having women there for the sake of being women, but making sure they're capable is really important because, A, if you are recruiting not capable women to your organizations, your recruitment team is terrible and you should get a better recruitment team, right? Like that's a baseline.
I would like to thank also the men that are participating in the dialogues because it's a win-win situation to cooperate.
Absolutely,
okay. This is very important.
And I can see you nodding, so I'm going to bring you in.
So for us, as a fraternity, it's always been a male-dominated fraternity, unfortunately. But recently, there have been, we have added Aditi, who is a partner, who is an equity partner now. She has been in the industry for 9 years. Similarly, I see a lot of women who are interested in maritime law, and they're doing extremely good. So when I was in the morning, I met someone. He said, Shiv, how are you not insecure? I said, why should I be insecure? It's like I'm grateful to them that they are coming up and they are now making a name for themselves. So which is extremely good. That's what the change I see in the industry. That is also motivating a lot of other people and other women to come into and face the judges in different courts. They argue in different courts. And they are showing inclination to maritime law, which is extremely good.
So can I ask, just to bring us back to the question that I was checking, was what are the benefits that you're seeing? So it's fantastic that you have more female lawyers, delightful. Has that changed the culture? Has it improved your win rate? Is there more attention to detail? Is there more multitasking?
There's more discipline.
What does that mean?
That means which we don't have. They fill it up. But
right.
yes, they do. It's very different how men work and how they blend into it, and they actually groom us in a lot of way, including my wife. It's brilliant. And thanks to that we have been here.
So I think what we're looking at is kind of a change, right? If you're used to working in a certain way, you've been doing it for a very long time, it's the Swiss cheese model of risk, right? If everybody's homogenous, you have the same flaws and you have the same strengths, but having people with different flaws and different strengths means that you've got more layers of risk management. And I can see you nodding, so I believe you agree, but feel free to challenge me.
No, I want to start by saying inclusion in Allcargo. The thing we have started in the last few years, particularly post-COVID, is to include people who are differently abled. So that's been like literally
Fantastic.
a policy decision taken. Differently abled people all across the country have to join our facility. There's a certain number. The HR does a very good job in ensuring that's met. Otherwise, it goes by the way. Similarly,
Absolutely.
we have another policy, which of course I have driven, that for any sales accounts, basically a function which doesn't require very heavy lifting, if possible, the candidate, if the choice is between a good male candidate and a good female candidate, let's give it to a female. The reason being, currently, our women ratio in India is only 18-20%, whereas internationally we are 35%. So we would like India to come up to at least 30-35% as well. You will be surprised, maybe you will not be surprised. A lot of our offices, particularly in China, South America, in the Far East, are 100% manned by women. There are no men. They're not required. The women do such a good job. So we're trying to understand why in India do we have this mindset that we require to even have men. I'm not saying they're not essential or necessary, but if you can man some offices without them, then the offices which are more far-flung, where it's difficult to get quality women, have men. You don't have to have an equal ratio everywhere. Just go for the best fit. That's my point. And senior management, yes, we do have a culture of having female CEOs in our organization for almost 20 years. So it's very gender, neutral in that sense. You're good at your work, you reach there. There is no glass ceiling.
It's really interesting because, I mean, for those of you who've seen the IMO Worcester Women in Maritime survey, you would see that there aren't actually a huge number of women in leadership, but at the companies that they are, you should definitely go do a little bit of digging and the results will speak for themselves. I'll give you a hint, they're very positive. But we also know that this is because you need a mix, right? You need a mix of leadership, you need a mix of leadership styles, and I love what you were talking about,
yes,
employing differently abled people. Could you talk to me about how that policy came about? Because that is something, particularly in logistics, that would have felt very challenging and kind of answers that complexity question we had earlier.
Right. So it came through one of our CSR meetings when we were doing our, charity work. And we realized that there are a lot of differently able people who can actually handle things like data entry. There is no problem if you have a physical disability or whatever. And we said, okay, but who's going to give them the opportunity? And then we found out that there are a lot of intermediate CSR, NGOs who actually provide you very good manpower. And you just have to have a policy.
And you're working with established grassroots organizations.
Exactly. And they really give you good manpower. And it's wonderful for us because CSR should never be compulsory. It should be part of your DNA, your organization's DNA. So that's how it came about.
Wonderful. So audience, I'm going to let you know that we will be coming to questions from you. So if you've got any burning questions, get your hands ready to put your hands up and we'll make sure we come to you. But I'm going to allow the rest of our leaders to talk to me. And the question that I have for you is basically, if you could take the step, right, if you had the power to take a single step to change something in our sector, to make it just more efficient, because you're leaders, what is the thing that you would want to do? And I'm not going to make you go first. Don't panic, Shiv. I'm going to make you go first.
Specifically to my sector or generally maritime sector?
You know what? Both. Give me both.
So my sector, I believe that the judiciary system, what I see has to change a bit in India. And consciously, we as lawyers have to come together and put this in order because the world is looking at us. And every time since I've been reaching out to people for business or otherwise also, they all say, Shiv, it's a delayed process. Why is it taking so much time? So I believe that we as lawyers also are responsible for that. We should change and consciously, I believe.
It's almost linking into what Sumita was saying about ownership, right? Like you're saying, you know, we are participants, but we should be active participants. Yeah. Really good. And did you have one for the whole maritime industry, since you did suggest that?
For the whole maritime industry, I think India is going the right way. We are pushing the button the right way. I think it's our time to perform for the next 10 to 20 decades, and we will keep going.
Right. It's your turn now. I did give you a reprieve.
No, that's fine. To me, one key word what comes to mind when you ask that question with respect to maritime sector, and possibly the same for any other sector, is adaptability, right? I can talk about maritime sector. It's ever-changing, dynamic, new requirements, new regulations coming in. My only wish and hope was that IMO was a little bit more proactive and actually directive in what the new requirement should be, rather than dilly-dallying things and mulling over it for a very long time, which makes it difficult for the end users like us to come up with a game plan.
You want clarity. Clarity,
for sure, based on which we can adapt to the requirements of the global trade. Like she mentioned, 90% of the global trade is moved by ships, right?
Yep.
So at some day there has to be recognition for the people who are doing such a wonderful job. And then the only time it comes into the media is when something goes wrong, and which to me is such a horrible thing to... Okay, COVID did change a little bit, where people recognized, and there was this key workers status which some of the countries have come up with. So if I had one wish in my lifetime, it would be seafarers would be recognized as key workers, and like the airline industry, crew, pilots in the airlines, they would have just walked through and been given that kind of a recognition. That's my dream for the seafarers. I hope to achieve in my lifetime at least.
Do you following on that?
I would like to, I will say 3 words: schools, schools, schools. We have done it in Greece. Shipping is a module in all the Greek schools, from the elementary school. We must not wait until the kids are 15 or 16 to explain to them what skills they need. We need to go into the schools. Entrepreneurship must enter the schools of the world. We are these crazy people that do not like to work 8 hours per day. We like to work 18 hours per day, and we like it a lot. We like to be productive. Terrifying. We like to dream. We like to fail in the 99% of what we're doing and be extremely happy for this 1% that finally we made it after 100 years of fighting. Okay, I'm kidding. And this must happen in cooperation with politicians and the academia. Entrepreneurs, politicians, and academia, in cooperation with schools and universities, have to have a continuous dialogue.
Yes. And to you, Sumita.
Well, it's not from logistics, it's from shipping. I really would like to see a lot more Indian ship owners owning their tonnage, managing their tonnage, and our ship managers managing our ships.
Nice.
Yeah? Yes, because it's really sad for such an old maritime nation that India is. We have very little in shipbuilding. Now government has given impetus to it, but still we are very far behind, right? So you got to have pride in your own tonnage, your own flag. I like to see that happening in India. And the expectation should not be that Shipping Corporation of India or government puts its money. I like to see the private sector put its money there, right? Let's hope that happens in my lifetime.
Fantastic. And a challenge to the room. Do we have any questions from the room? Because if not, oh, we have one right at the back. Would you come forward, sir? I'm going to remind everybody, I'm quite a strict moderator, so this better be a question and not a statement. I'm going to hand him my mic. You can take this. Oh, I could just take one of your mics, and then you would share. And this is our last question, because I have a red light flashing at me. There is a question, yes?
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Dear panelists, I'm going to ask you a little question that is leadership for growth. Each of you come from different areas of industry. Each of you have a different approach to leadership and growth. I'd like to hear from you, what is it within your organization that you consider is the right way to create leaders so that you have a legacy that follows when you have moved on from your organization?
So the question that you're being asked, and I'm going to make it even quicker and say in one sentence, what is the right way for you as leaders to create legacy at your organizations, correct?
Yeah, I hope that was a good question.
For me,
Absolutely.
to have also an impact in the society and not only in our pocket.
Repeat?
To have impact in the society and not only in our pocket as entrepreneurs.
Correct. To have impact on society, not just in your sector, but you've also talked about going in young and engaging with the youth and bringing them through, and that is very much legacy.
It will take 2-3 hours if you challenge me.
That
and,
sounds
don't
like
want
a
to take the
conversation
time.
over coffee, and I'm going to get kicked off stage if we go to 3 hours. So, Shiv.
With respect to me, it's simple, don't be insecure. Let them grow. You grow with them.
Wonderful.
Yeah, for me, the company has to be process-oriented rather than people. And you have to have, she mentioned that word, which I love, mentoring. There has to be a constant mentoring for people to grow to the next level.
Action speaks louder than words. So please act. You always emulate people who act. And, that's what it is. When you're a good leader, people will follow you. You don't have to advise anyone to follow you. They will see your style, and it will cascade down. Thank you.
Wonderful. So with that, please join me in thanking my panelists.